It's 9000 BC. You wake up on cold dirt and your whole body is shaking. You haven't eaten in 2 days, and something large is breathing on the other side of the fire. You can't see it yet. You can just hear it. You don't know what it is. I do. Last time I was lying in your exact spot, it had me for breakfast. Dex here. I've died before, a lot. Today, I'm going to make sure you don't. This is death number 12, by the way. We'll get to it. Because here's the deal, survivors. You think you'd last a day out here? So did I. Then the sun went down, and I found out the hard way. Today, I'm walking you through every way this single day tries to kill you. And the one stupid habit that finally kept me breathing. Stick around. You're gonna need this one. So here's the day ahead of you. It's the late Stone Age. The big ice is pulling back, the world is waking up, and you are not the top of the food chain. You've got one day, sunrise to dark. 4 things out here want you dead, and only one of them has teeth. The cold, the water, a cut that should have been nothing, and the night. I've died to all 4, separately, like an idiot. So I'll show you each one exactly how it got me, and the real trick that gets you past it. By the end, you'll know more about surviving day 1 than I did after about 6 lifetimes. Let's keep you alive. Come on, let's start with the thing that kills you first. Not the wolves, not the bears, the weather. Here's what nobody tells you about the ancient world. You can go weeks without food. Your body's built for that. It complains, but it keeps going. The cold doesn't give you weeks. The cold gives you hours. Get wet, add some wind, drop the temperature after dark, and your body starts shutting down from the outside in. First, your fingers stop working. Then your thinking goes fuzzy. Then you lie down because you're tired. And that's it. That's the whole story. So picture your first afternoon. You're cold, you're hungry, and every instinct in your modern brain is screaming the same thing. Go find food. Wrong. Dead wrong. That's exactly what I did. I spent my entire first day hunting for something to eat, walked for hours, found a few roots, felt very proud of myself. Then the sun went down, and I had no shelter, no fire, and a body full of sweat going cold. I lay down on the bare ground to rest. Big mistake. The ground doesn't just feel cold. It actively pulls the heat out of you faster than the air ever could. I fell asleep warmish. I never woke up. Death number 12. Froze to death, lying on dirt, while holding a fistful of roots. I was too cold to eat. So here's your first real survival tip, and it's the one that flips everything. On day 1, food is not the priority. Staying warm and dry is. Before the sun gets low, you stop. You build something to block the wind, branches, a rock overhang, anything. And you get your body off the ground. Pile up dry leaves, dry grass, dead branches, and lie on that, not the dirt. That layer between you and the earth, that's the difference between morning and never. Shelter first, always. The hungry version of you that survives the night gets to eat tomorrow. The fed version that froze does not. Okay, you made it through the night. You're stiff, you're starving, and you're thirsty. So you go looking for water. And this is where it gets sneaky. Because the water out here doesn't growl. It doesn't have claws. It just sits there, looking perfect. The water looked clean. It always looks clean. That's the trap. You find a still little pool, clear as glass. You cup it in your hands. You drink. And for about a day, you feel fine. Then your stomach turns into a furnace, and the world starts spinning. That's not bad luck. That's something living in that pretty water, deciding it lives in you now. And here's the part that actually kills you. It's not the bug, it's the water you lose. Your body tries to flush it out, and you lose fluid faster than you can ever replace it out here. You wanted water so badly, you found the one thing that takes all your water away. I've felt that exact heat in my gut twice. Both times I told myself I could tough it out. Both times the dirt won. So tip number 2. And it's simple. For the still water is a graveyard. Moving water is safer. A pool that just sits there collects everything that dies near it. A stream that's running has at least got a fighting chance. Take your water upstream, away from any animal tracks or droppings you can spot. And if you've got a fire and anything to hold water in, you boil it every single time. No exceptions. Boiling is the one trick that turns a death sentence back into a drink. The clean-looking water is the liar. Don't trust the pretty pool, survivors. Death number 31 says, please. Now, let's talk about the killer you'd never see coming. Not the cold, not the water. A scratch. I'm serious. Out here, one of the most common ways to die has nothing to do with predators. It's a small wound that goes bad. In the Stone Age, there's no medicine, no antibiotics, nothing. So, a cut on your hand from gathering wood, a splinter, a scrape on a sharp rock, that's not nothing. That's a doorway. Something invisible gets in, and a few days later, you're burning up with fever, and there is nothing you can do about it. Most people out here didn't die fighting something. They died after, from the wound that should have healed. Want to guess how I learned this one? I was butchering an animal. Felt great about it. Finally, caught dinner. Sliced my own thumb open doing it, and barely noticed. Wiped it on my leg, kept working. 3 days later, I couldn't move my arm, and a week after that. Death number 19. Killed by my own thumb. The animal didn't even get me. I got me. So here's your tip, and it's older than you'd think. You keep the wound clean, and you keep it covered. Rinse it with the cleanest water you've got, ideally water you've already boiled and let cool, not stream water straight off the ground. Then cover it to keep the dirt out. A clean wound heals. A dirty wound spreads. Out here, a scratch isn't a scratch. It's a countdown. So treat the tiny stuff like it matters, because the tiny stuff is what buries you. Quick break, survivors. We're 3 deaths in, and the day's not even over. So I gotta ask, which death would you have avoided? Tell me in the comments. Be honest. Were you team go find food and freeze, like me? Or did you actually drink the pretty water? No judgment. We've all got a death, number 12 inches us somewhere. Drop your number below, then come back, because the next one is the part where the day finally bites back. You survived the cold. You drank smart. You kept your hands clean. Congratulations. You made it to the scariest part. Dark. Here's the thing your modern brain forgets. You think of humans as the hunters, top of the chain, kings of everything. For most of our history, we were not that. We were the middle of the menu. And after sunset, when your eyes are basically useless, the things that hunt by smell and sound own the whole world. Night doesn't fall out here. It hunts. And if you're alone, sleeping out in the open, you've already made yourself an easy meal. That breathing on the other side of the fire from this morning, yeah, it came back. This was my first life, my very first one. I wandered off from the group because I wanted a better spot to sleep, more room, more peace. I found a lovely little clearing, wide open, nothing around me. Death number 4, dragged off in the dark because I wanted privacy in the one era that does not offer it. So here is the tip that keeps you off the menu. 3 parts, lock them in. 1. You stay with the group. Numbers are the oldest weapon humans ever had. Alone, you're prey. Together, you're a problem. 2. You keep the fire alive all night. Fire isn't for warmth out here. Not really. It's the wall between you and everything with teeth. 3. You put something solid at your back. A rock face, a big fallen tree. So nothing can come at you from every side at once. Open ground in the dark is a coffin you dug yourself. A fire, a wall, and people you trust. That's how you see the morning. All right, speed round. Quick deaths. These are the dumb ones. The ones that got me before I learned better. Counting fast. Death number 7. Ate a beautiful bright berry. The color was a warning. I read it as a menu. Death number 15. Tried to pet a thing because it looked soft. It was not soft about it. Death number 22. Stood in a dry riverbed during a storm to stay out of the wind. The water came back. So did I, eventually. Different life. Death number 28. Lost my fire, carrying it through the rain. Spent that night cold, in the open, learning that carrying a flame is harder than making one. Death number 33. Trusted my own sense of direction. Walked a full day the wrong way from water. Death number 41. Ran from something fast. Turns out running tells it you're food. Should have stood still. 6 lives, 6 lessons, 1 slow learner. The pattern? Survivors? Almost none of those were the animal's fault. They were mine. Out here, the world doesn't have to kill you. Most days, you do the job for it. So, could you survive a single day in the Stone Age? Maybe now you could. Stay dry before you stay fed. Drink the moving water, never the still. Treat every cut like the countdown it is. And when the dark comes, you do not face it alone. Do that and you make it to sunrise, which is more than I managed for about 12 tries. Next time, I'm taking you somewhere colder. Somewhere the cold isn't a threat. It's the whole entire world. We're going into an ice age winter where 3 days of food has to last 4 months. I did the math wrong. You won't. Until then, survivors, don't make my mistakes. Or do. I'll see it in my next life. Survive the past.